Hi guys, this is Brett at Jokerz. Today I'm here to talk about our bearing plates for the IHI 2.4, 2.7, and 3.0. We are going to discuss our bearing plate versus stock and some of the competitors. In that same sentence, I'm not here to bash the competitors. These competitors across the Hellcat platform have proven themselves over the years and deserve that respect. So in this video, I am not bashing, I am not trashing. I am simply comparing our designs based on our concepts and our ideas and showing you the differences between how we do things, how they do things, and how stock does things. So with that being said, let's get to the initial design. So this is our original design on our bearing plate from our stock ported bearing plate back from 2021. We started producing the billet bearing plates back in 2022, and we've kept the same design since then, going on 5 years. In a stock bearing plate, you can see that you have two big rings of material to support the bearing. When you use stock material, it's great, it's sound, but with billet, you can remove material and retain strength and reliability. And then with that becomes an important performance increase. Where I wanted to show you where a stock bearing plate differs is you have these two leading lips. You have one here and you have one here. As the rotor rotates, the air comes straight in, filling the blower as it spins. Now, with ours, you can see that we do not have that. We have a leading edge taper that tapers to the exact edge of the rotor pack, as you can see here. So as the air comes into the blower, it follows this leading edge taper into the edge of the rotor, maximizing the inlet duration of that rotor side. Now, on this side, you will see that the material is retained. That is because we keep the edge of this rotor in mind. As you can see, the leading edge of the compression rotor comes to that very point. So as this blower comes around, we don't want air running into a flat part of the rotor. We want it going into the compression side as much as possible. We want to fill that cavity as quickly as possible. And that's where our dome cap design and bearing plate come in essentially. So as air comes in here, it travels right over the top and into the rotor as smoothly as possible. You do not see any flaring, you don't see any lips. It is just perfectly profiled, just like a jet, a missile, or anything that would be part of the, anything aerodynamic would look like this that's traveling at high speeds. So why not incorporate that design into your bearing plate? Now, to compare this to stock, you can see how much more open our bearing plate is on the backside compared to stock. You can see how the rotor rotates and fills evenly across the face versus here. Now, in others' designs, and I'm not saying this is bad, you can see they retain most of the material. Not a bad thing. You can see they keep the same material over here as well. Their dome cap, which does work, they have a different design than us. So you can see how different we are versus one of the leading competitors. Now, that being said, why do we leave this material here? Well, it's because of the compression ratio. As these rotors come together, they start compressing. As the air is starting to be compressed between the rotors, it wants to push towards the inlet and towards the outlet. So that is why we keep this area blocked off here, so that way during the compression ratio, the rotor pack compresses the air, and that air hits, there is no reason for this air to come back. This air will naturally be forced back towards the outlet because of this wall acting like a blockade. So that is why we retain this middle part. If you remove that middle part, the air will be compressed. The air will be compressed right here, in this area here, and be pushed towards the inlet side. This goes for any twin screw. Whipple, Kenny Bell, or whoever else makes these kind of designs. Well, this is Brett at Jokerz, just defining how our bearing plate works differently than others. Thanks for watching. Look forward to doing business with you.